we go. 3, 2, 1. Well, Gayle, thanks so much for joining us today for this session. I got to figure out where to look on this camera. Yeah, you know, I heard this quote from someone. I was at a car event and they said that cars bring people together. Now, that's probably true of a lot of different things. You know, bread probably brings people together because you get together and eat it. There's a lot of different things, but it is true about cars. So kind of on the surface, ostensibly, this story is a little bit about a car, but it's probably more about relationships. And a little background, Gayle Harris here and her husband, Mark, came to England about 31 years ago to be the best man and be in our wedding. And we've known them ever since. But, you know, life gets busy and you kind of lose track of each other. And we really hadn't talked or seen each other in a few years. And I started this silly little YouTube video and I had sent Gayle's husband, Mark, a link just like, hey, whatever, for the fun of it, here's a video of a car. And then Gayle got back to me and said, oh, I had a Porsche in high school. And I just thought it was so amazing. Like, I never knew that, not that I ever asked you, but I just thought it was cool because who has a Porsche in high school? So I'd love to hear your story, Gayle, about this little yellow Porsche. And yeah, so how did that happen? How did you happen to end up with a Porsche in high school? And tell me about that.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to first say, Kirby, you and Mark went to college together.
That's true. That's true.
And it was just amazing that Mark was the best man in your wedding. And he will often remind you that I was the best man, damn it. You know,
he had the best speech, and people to this day talk about it. So he did have, hands down, an amazing speech.
It was outstanding, I have to say. I was impressed, and I've heard him speak a lot. That was probably the best ever. When I heard from Mark that you were doing this 9/11 heaven, I was just floored. And it's also been COVID, you know, so we haven't really all been hanging out. Yeah. But Mark and I spent a Friday night, and we're also, just for your viewers, you and Rachel and Mark and I are both empty nesters now. So, you know, on a Friday night to tune in to Kirby's 9/11 heaven.
What else do you have to do?
Are you kidding me? This is just so fun. But the car, so, well, just like tiny bit of backstory. I was kind of younger than most of my classmates in school. I, you know, was just like December birthday, younger. But I got my license to drive on my 16th birthday. And my best friend in high school did not have hers yet. So her stepmom let me drive her. It was like an old Dodge Duster or something like that. I'm sure you would find it, the car. But it was just kind of this funny car. And so I took care of the car, and I would pick my friend Denise up every morning for school and drive together. And then I would get to park the car at home, whatever. So that was like the car that I drove during high school. And then, you know, as we were graduating, and I was heading off to college, my grandfather, who we all 3 kids, I'm the youngest of 3 kids. I have 2 older brothers. And we were all very, very close with, it was my dad's dad. And we called him Grandpa Foster. His first name was Virgil, which I always thought was so funny. But he was a firefighter in Miami, like born in 1900. So I have a dorky picture I can show.
I want to see it.
Okay. I love this picture so much. But like, I don't know if it's going to be.
Yeah, that's the fire truck that he's sitting.
The fire truck.
That's amazing.
It's just the best picture ever. But I'll send this to you so that you can.
Yeah, do.
Like,
yeah, we'll get a blow up of that.
If you want, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, after my dad, my parents divorced when I was 12, and my grandfather just stayed really close to our family, and he was a widower, and it just meant a lot to me, you know, that he came over a lot. We went to visit him a lot in North Miami Beach. We were in South Miami. And he was just really, really good to us kids, you know, just one of those, I don't know, he was just like an anchor, you know, like a male anchor in my life, and my brothers too were amazing. But Yeah, I just loved him dearly, loved him dearly. And completely surprised me with this car. So I was probably, 17, like a young high school graduate, but I think it was around high school graduation time that he just surprised me with this car. And as a firefighter, as so many firefighters do, they'll have, like, they're good at a lot of things and they'll pick up side jobs and what have you. So he did that. He was kind of a handyman and he could do pretty much anything. And the story is, or my oldest brother helped me remember that he was friends with this woman in North Miami Beach who was wanting to sell, and she was the original owner of this car. What? This beautiful, beautiful canary yellow Porsche 914.
Yes.
And it just arrived at our house one day.
It really. And that picture, roughly how long after that, and when he gave it to you, do you think that picture was taken? Like right away?
Within a week.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it looked like. This is what it looked like.
It's really in good shape. I mean, it's got, if I'm correct in guessing the year, I forget, other people can chime in with the comments. I think it's maybe a 71 if, based on those wheels, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Just what was your reaction? I'm assuming you pulled up in this or.
Lost my mind when I learned it was for me.
Yeah.
It just, are you kidding me? Like, wait, this can't be happening. Just like,
yeah.
It's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, what is even happening? It's a convertible. Like,
the top. Yep.
And then the lights, that the lights popped up was like way cool at that time.
Yeah.
It was just such a beautiful car. It was a hard top convertible. So the thing that I can't remember is I know that we used to drive around in it with the top off, but I can't remember if I had to leave the top at home,
right,
or if the top fit in the front part.
Right. I know I watched a couple videos and I know very little about 914s, but I think the little Targa top could go in the boot in the back. And there, if you remember, there was a storage in the front and the back, but I think they said it could go in the back. By the way, I know I graduated in high school in 82. So was that about 83 or 84 for you? Or
I'm class of 82 also.
You are 82. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, and when you saw it, I'm assuming that was a 71 roughly. We know it's, based on what I can tell, it's certainly not a 74 because the bumpers changed a bit. But did it look, because the picture makes it look really new. It looks like it's in really good condition. Did it seem like that to you? Like it was like in really good shape?
Oh, definitely. She took really good care of it. The interior was amazing. There was not one dent on it. My oldest brother was probably more of a car person than I was. I was just like a teenage girl, like, I love the colors. Yeah. Like, oh, cute. And I had learned how to drive on a stick shift car, like my grandparents' Ford Maverick.
like on the 300 type of thing. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so you knew how to use a clutch already.
I did, and I was proud of that.
Yeah.
I still am proud of that.
Something lost on the current generation a little bit. Sorry, I'll get hate for that. But I know we never were able to teach our kids how to drive a stick.
I want to teach our kids how to drive a stick shift car. I think it's a skill that everyone should have. It's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. And I kind of remember this car. It almost feels like first gear was this way and then second, third.
Right.
Fourth. I don't know. I just have some kind of funny memories about it. But it was in wonderful condition. And also, I just remember opening up something and seeing VW on it and being like, it's a VW? Like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
It was so cool and so funny because my parents always drove VWs. My mom drove a bus and my dad drove the Beetle. Yeah. And so like for this car to be like this
part
very sporty Porsche, but also a VW was like, oh, this is so cute. This is just the best.
And did your brother or brothers love it? Did they just think, oh my goodness, were they jealous, or they just thought, okay, this is super cool?
They weren't jealous, no, because my grandfather was so good to all of us. Like he had done so many wonderful things for each one of us. And my middle brother was away at college when this happened. Okay. So I think actually my oldest brother drove it around quite a bit when I was away at college, and then when I would come home on
so you
break.
didn't take it to college?
I did not take it to college, no, because I went out of state. So I would drive it, you know, when I was home at Christmas or home during the summer. And I probably had it for 4 years.
Okay.
So, and then when I moved to California,
okay,
is when I'm thinking we probably sold it, because I ended up buying my own first car, a little Honda Civic that was, you know, the car that I drove across the country from Miami to.
Okay. And was your grandfather still alive at the time?
He was. Yeah. He was. Yeah. He helped me buy
that's so
my first car. Like he just went to the car dealership with me and helped me sign the papers and everything. Just like an angel, an absolute angel to me. Yeah.
And any idea how much you got for the Porsche, or how much the Civic cost? Yeah, I'm thinking
that part I don't remember. I wish I could remember. I wish I could remember how much he paid for it. And how much it got sold for. I'm assuming, I actually don't even have memories of it getting sold. Yeah. I'm just assuming that it was sold and maybe that money was used as a down payment. I just was grateful for the help, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then how was it to drive? Do you remember? Did it seem like it was fun? Did it seem, I don't know, any impressions that you had of it?
Super fun.
Okay. Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun. I've always been a little bit conservative and like nervous about speeding, and like wouldn't have ever wanted to get pulled over. So I never got like too crazy in it, but I do remember I have a memory of packing like my friend group into it.
Like that's more than one other person?
For sure, more than one other person. I would have to ask.
Yeah, that's
friends, cool. Like, did this actually happen, or am I kind of just remembering this? But I just feel like we had maybe at least 4 of us packed into it.
Love it. I love it that it's got 4. Yeah, I think depending on the year, one of the seats did not move. Like I think it was the passenger seat would not move back and forward until it went up to like 74. And so yours might have been that. But to get 4 in there, that's impressive. A little fact I picked up on a video that I watched yesterday was, you think these modern 911s are so high performance. That 914 is wider and lower than a modern, like even more modern than my car. It's wider and lower. So it was really built like as a performance car. It was so wide and low. So obviously it had good traction, but that width, it reminded me of the width of it when you said you packed so many people in it.
Yeah, in fact, that's the one thing my oldest brother, when I was asking him questions about it, what do you remember?
Yeah.
I knew we were going to be doing this. That's what he said. It was really low and really wide. And that's what is so fun to drive.
Yeah, I think they said it's 1.5 inches wider than a modern Porsche 911. And those are wide. When you look at them from the back, you think it's a giant toad. It's just this huge thing. But to think that the 914 is wider than that is pretty darn cool. Yeah, and back to the VW, I think, and someone's going to correct me here, I think it was a joint venture between VW and Porsche, and yours probably had a 4-cylinder in it. I know they came out with a 6-cylinder later, and they just recently, I don't know if you've known, but they've definitely started going up in price. Good ones, oh my goodness, depending, I heard one went for 100,000, but I would say the range right now is probably, low teens, like 14, maybe on up to 30 for certain decent, good examples. And then there's probably outliers or whatnot, but they've really been embraced by the collectors, and people really like them. And people say, it's another interesting thing is they said, well, it looked like a box. There was so many straight lines. And they said, there's actually not a straight line on it. They looked at, there is no straight lines on it. But it's very wide.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the picture, like every single part of it. Yeah.
No, you had a piece of history. You owned it and drove it and enjoyed it. So no speeding tickets, it sounds like.
No, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry to say because I would have been like, ah!
Yeah, exactly.
I just was terrified of getting pulled over. I don't know. But we listened to loud music in it. We definitely listened to loud music in it and drove with the top off a lot in Miami. And it was just so fun to drive around.
Well, it does seem like the perfect Miami car. I mean, the yellow and got the top off, and that is. So
I mean, it was just like a lose your mind over kind of car. Like I just was stunned and couldn't believe he had gotten it for me. And then that I got to drive it around. And my friends were like, this is so cool. So fun.
What a sweet grandpa. And I forget if you said his name yet or not. What's his name?
Virgil Foster.
So sweet.
Born in 1900.
1900. And then how many years later did he, when did he die?
Well, he passed away in his 80s. So Mark and I were married, and he ended up getting cancer and didn't like suffer terribly, thank goodness. But I think he was like 86 when he passed. I think it was like 1986.
You stayed close to him, it sounds like, his whole life.
Oh yeah, very, very close to him. I had just sent him a card in the mail and wrote, Psalm 23, because I was nervous about him being worried about passing and just wanted him to know that he was in good hands. And then I got the news that he had passed. So that's
sweet.
Yeah, it's really sweet. I'm really, really grateful for him. He was just a really important person in my life. And just this whole like telling stories, like he was the best storyteller. He would come to every holiday, and anytime I would drive up to his house to visit him, I mean, I just loved like, tell me more. Just he was full of stories and just knew people, loved talking to people, loved getting to know people. And I don't know, he was just a really really good person.
No, that's really neat.
One thing that was really kind of awkward about the car is the stick shift. Kind of like stick a little, like the clutch would kind of pop a little bit.
Really,
I remember it needing to go into the mechanic regularly. And maybe this was like part of the reason why we ended up thinking, let's maybe sell it. Because my mom had a really great Volkswagen mechanic because they drove VWs also. So I just remember going into the shop like maybe twice a year just to have it adjusted.
Right.
I don't know. And that kind of just being like, a girl or whatever, just who didn't have a lot of experience with cars. Just kind of like, what's happening? Did I do something wrong? But I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just kind of a quirky thing about the car. I don't know why that happened.
A quirky thing that was happening. Okay, yeah. But it never broke down on you.
Never broke down. No, it was so reliable, like amazing. Yeah. And we would drive it all around Miami. I mean, to the beach, downtown, over the causeway, just all over. Yeah.
Well,
beautiful, beautiful car. And the canary yellow too. What could be better?
I know. Any other pictures of your grandfather? Pardon?
I wish we would have kept it.
I know. I had a VW Squareback, a 72 that I wish I had kept. That's probably worth thousands and thousands, and I sold it for like $2,000.
Right?
Did you have any other pictures of your grandfather, or is that was the main one on the fire engine?
That's the main one. I have another really, really cute one of him and my grandmother. They were out sailing, and it's a really beautiful picture, but I'd have to go dig it up. Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, I'll send you a picture.
I just appreciate you telling this story. I was listening to Rob Bell or something, and he just, everybody loves a story, and it's true. You just want to be told a story, and a lot of fun hearing your story, Gayle, and really fun. Once again, the initial reaction I had when you said I had a yellow Porsche in high school, or right out of high school, was just so fun to hear. And I know we've tried to make this video over the last couple of months, so it's nice to finally make it. But it would be, thank you so much, Gayle, for doing this and talking to us and telling us your story.
Total pleasure. I'm so happy to be a guest on your channel.
Yeah, it's gonna go viral now, I'm sure. So more than like the 23 views that I got on my last video. So, well, Gayle, so thanks so much. One more shot of the 914.
Here she is.
It is just amazing. It just looks gorgeous. All right, thanks so much. Well, Gayle, thanks so much. Have a great evening.
My pleasure. You too, Kirby. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.